OK, right, class, pay attention. Put it away, Jones. Thank you. Yes, it's time for today's science lesson, that part of the show where we place a scientific principle into our Petri dish and then see what cultivates. So who can tell me what the following are demonstrating? This dangerous dancer? This diving dimwit? And this elasticated endeavour? It's a strange hobby. That's right, they're all examples of the effects of resultant forces. Now, we know that a force is a push or a pull on an object, but what happens when there are multiple forces interacting with each other? As this cheerleader is thrown in the air, the upward force from their arms briefly exceeds the downwards force of gravity, creating a resultant force directed upwards. Once in the air, only gravity is acting on her, and although her movement is still upwards, she's decelerating until gravity overcomes her momentum and she starts coming back down. When she's caught, the catcher's arms again exert an upwards resultant force for a controlled deceleration. Well, I hope that all makes sense, because it's time for your test. Question 1. What happens when one force is bigger than the others acting on an object? Ah, the garden trampoline. Perfect for spying on your neighbours. Less perfect for your health. The rebounding elastic of the trampoline produces a force that's larger than his weight, so there's a resultant force upwards that launches him into the air. But when that force isn't directed straight up, he won't be either. Question 2. What forces are acting on you in free fall? Ah, it's always good to get your Christmas tree well in advance. And this is a novel way of finding the best one. Too short, too bushy, too tall, and we have a winner. When falling with a parachute, the downwards pull of gravity is soon equalised by the upwards force on the canopy. There is no resultant force at all, and he's gliding at a constant and relatively slow speed, until the tree exerts a somewhat larger force to stop him. There'll be no Christmas this year. Now, last but not least, question number 3. Is the resultant force always in the direction of the largest force? Our trusty testers are experimenting with a specially prepared bottle of cola.
Throw it this way.
Don't worry, they've done a risk assessment, so I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Apart from that. The angled launch of the bottle gave it vertical and horizontal propulsive force. And while gravity counteracted the vertical acceleration, the horizontal acceleration remained.
Oh my God!
Which I'm sure our camera woman is very pleased about. So that is the end of our lesson on resultant forces.
I'm so cool.
That was both stupid and incredibly dangerous. But luckily, a bit of science saved him when his parachute opened. He did have a parachute, didn't he? Class dismissed.